Thanks a lot for this interview. I'm really happy to be here and to tell you a bit about myself and about our GX Master. I have started my career as an economist. I studied at the University of Rome, La Sapienza, economics and business. And then I studied for a PhD in agricultural economics and policy at the University of Bologna. And only after that, I started my career as a researcher at the University of Florence, and especially at the Department of Economics and Management. Only 3 years ago, I came to the School of Agriculture, and especially at the D'Agri department, where I am a professor, associate professor in agricultural economics and policy, and I lecture in agri-food marketing and territorial marketing too. And only when I came here, I was involved in the coordination of this master degree, this GX master, and also, of course, as a teacher. And I lecture in a course that is called Integrated Valorization of Biocultural Resources. Well, the idea at the basis of this course is the identification of these biocultural resources within the different territories, and the activation of the local actors in a bottom-up approach in order to make them aware and proud of what they have within the territory. Not only this is the goal, but a very important goal is to design with the local actors a strategy for the conservation on one side, but also for the valorization of these resources that we have identified, so that the market, but also the public policy maker, can remunerate the actors for the construction of that landscape that is specifically important within our master, and that they own, because a long time through their practices they have conserved, and so they need to be remunerated for all what they do. That is a heritage not only for the territory but for the whole society. And so this is the way we approach, but within the strategies, we identify two main pillars. On the one side, we identify rural tourism as a valuable strategy if it's developed in a sustainable way, in order to conserve and valorize at the same time these resources. So we design together with the students some interesting experiences, cultural experiences that the actors within the territory can sell to the tourist in order to grow his culture and appreciate what is the real heritage in the territory. We not only have a look at the rural tourism, but also at the importance of origin products, that is, of those products that are strictly related to the territory they come from, because their specific characteristics depend from the territory and the specificities of the territory, both in terms of natural and environmental characteristics, but also in terms of know-how and other anthropic characteristics that are related to the territory itself. Yes, thanks for this question. Within the master, we really like to found our teaching on real examples, on case studies that come not only from the Italian experience, of course, but also from the international experience we have. So as far as the local national experience is concerned, students always like a very nice example that is related to the iris flower, but in reality it's related to the oris root, because the iris is the flower that we find in the emblem of Florence, but it's a very traditional cultivation of which we don't use the flower, but we use the root. So that's why we are talking about the oris root. And what is nice about it is that this cultivation is enhanced and valorized along the supply chain at international level by the cosmetic industry, and especially by the perfume industry, but also by the alcoholic industry. And we have to think that, for example, the Bacardi gin that everybody knows is based on the oris root flavors. So the students like this a lot, but what we really want to highlight is that the product can be also an ambassador of the territory. Which means that based on this very traditional cultivation, we can identify all the other biocultural resources that are present in the territory and valorize them in an integrated way through the construction of experiences, because we all know that now experiential tourism, especially in rural areas, but everywhere, is at the basis of the desire of our tourists. And so the capacity of constructing experiences and offering them and being remunerated for these services can integrate also the income of our farmers. And of course, by integrating their income, also the cultivation becomes more sustainable, as well as their life, of course. So what we want when we say that we want a sustainable valorization of biocultural resources is that we want, first of all, the farmers, but also all the local actors to be fairly remunerated for all what they do, not only for the territory, but for the society at large. So this is one of the examples that the students like so much, but of course we have many more. Other examples come from a very nice project that was funded by the European community and that we have just finished. The project is called Suster, and the theme of the project is the inclusive and sustainable territorial valorization of cultural heritage, origin products, and biodiversity. So we really, in this project, have many different partners. The partners are not only universities, but also we have an NGO and other associated partners. But what I want to underline is that within the project, we identified 8 different territories to valorize, specifically on the basis of cultural heritage, origin products, and biodiversity. And these territories are located in 6 different countries. So we really had case studies also for the GIACS students to propose and where they could really find also out of Italy good examples for an adequate integrated valorization of biocultural resources. And I must say that some of the students of the master, of the GIACS master, then also attended our activities within the SUSTER project. So we really try to find synergies among all the activities we develop. Yes, certainly this is a very difficult question. It's very complex, and we should be here for many more hours in order to even try to reply adequately to such a question. But I will try to give some inputs. Certainly, we all know that we have undergone a very important process of globalization. And this process of globalization and also of industrialization and specialization of agriculture has led to some paradoxes. The paradox is that there is a total fraction between the agri-food industry and local agriculture, especially for mass products, which means that the agri-food industry has been looking for raw materials, also as far as agricultural products are concerned, in the countries where these raw materials can be found at the lowest price. And of course, our local agriculture and also especially traditional agriculture has suffered a lot from that. And many food systems are not sustainable anymore. So the theme of the resilience connected to food systems is at the center of the debate, not only in FAO, but also at within the European Union. And we are really trying to find adequate solutions in order to be more sustainable. Of course, we have to know that there is a very large part of the global population that needs a supply of food at low cost, at a low price. So quality food cannot be for everybody, but certainly, at least in some parts of the world, we should aim at a better connection between the local supply and traditional biodiversity, agrobiodiversity cultivations, and of course our food and our food systems, which means let's try not to depend too much on the supply of mass products and of course of mass raw materials that are leading to situations like the ones we are living now. So I think that in the end, the resilience and the sustainability of food systems should be more at the center of our attention. as much as of course, preservation and conservation of our landscape only through valorization with the tools that in the GX Master we also identify and propose to our students.